Hello Libra friends, I'm Annie Botticelli. Welcome to my January 10th, 2020 full moon solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Cancer report for you. This is specifically for Libras, and I'm going to go into lots of detail about where you're likely to see the drama, the tearful endings, the blissful new beginnings, the dramatic trajectory changes, the sudden surprise occurrences, manifestations that you've been waiting for, endings that you do not want. All of this stuff gets stronger at the eclipse time. And 4 to 6 weeks before the eclipse, which is why I'm posting this so early, we can often start to see these manifestations really cook up. This storyline has been going on since the middle of 2018. It's going still through the middle of 2020. We're getting near the end here. We're in another chapter. So we're going to talk about what areas of life Libra placements and get very drill down into the specific where you're at in the Libra placement as to exactly how this may manifest for you, where you're likely to see these changes. Some people do hold space for other people while changes are happening, and for some people it's not very dramatic, but for other people, they're going through massive changes and they're holding space for other people, and they're looking around saying, what's going on with everybody? What's going on with everybody is that it's eclipse time. So that's why I take the time to do these reports, because you're likely going to feel this, and you're going to feel this way before it happens, which is why I'm posting it now. If you would like to have more astrology goodies, you can go to anniehelpsyou.com and you can see my astrology blogs. You can also sign up for my free email newsletter that delivers the general transit report, and including the aspects, what dates they are going to be, and what notable things may happen, delivered into your inbox a month early. And you'll also get my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine for free when you sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. If you want horoscopes written, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com for lifestyle blogs and also for my horoscopes a month early. And definitely check out my video reports for your sign a month early. Add those to what you're watching here and you'll have an even more complete picture of what's going to be going on for you. And those websites that I gave you are in the notes under this video when you click on more, so in case you don't remember what I said. All right, so I finally figured out how to do a split screen. This has been years I've been trying to hope that this information would come to me. So now you can see me on the screen at the same time as I show you the visuals, which is what people had been requesting. Okay, so in order to make the most of this report, we want to know where in the Libra spectrum you are. Early degrees are basically our September born, or 0 to 9 degrees. Middle, around October 1st through 10th, or 10 to 19 degrees. Late, around October 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees. This window of my RV, that window of my RV, that window of my RV, those are all pictures of the total experience of what it looks like where I am and the experience I'm having of being in this RV. And that's how the moon chart, the solar chart, which is the sun chart, the rising chart, which is the ascendant chart, all of those charts, so the reports for all of those placements in your chart are all showing different windows out of your astrological picture, and they're all true at the same time. So I recommend that you definitely watch. If you're Libra moon, rising, sun, this is for you. And so whatever your sun and rising are, I recommend you always watch the reports, at least for those two. And if you want to sprinkle in the moon, you'll get some extra details. Okay, so this January 2020, it's January 10th, 2020, lunar eclipse at 20 degrees of Cancer. For every sign in the zodiac, it's likely to manifest as a fourth house experience. We'll talk about what the arena of the fourth house is, and that's going to be true for all zodiac placements because Cancer rules the fourth house. All early, middle, and late degree Libra placements, 10th house likely going to be cooking very hot with this eclipse. If you are in the middle or late degree range, which is basically, again, our October born, or 10 to 29 degrees, you're also additionally likely going to have the potential, of the 9th house manifestations. So I'm going to give you a quick visual on the chart so that you can see why this is different depending on your placement. We'll breeze through this very quickly, and then we'll go into the tutorials about how I have seen, from doing thousands of live readings, doing countless in-depth horoscope readings over very many years, over tracking these things for myself for decades, how I've seen these things manifest. I'll give you all those details with nice bullet points so that you can have it easily organized to understand. 20 degrees of Cancer is here. This is the early degree chart, so it's very clearly in the 10th house for you. If we were doing whole house astrology, all of you would be experiencing, or they would be talking about 10th house experience for every Libra placement. And that is true. There's a potential there for all placements. However, in the Placidus chart, everything drops back, okay, depending on when you're later in the sign. So see this cluster down here? This is just, it's good to watch the clusters to get a visual. See how that's out here in the late, in the early degree chart? See how it shifts over to the left in the middle chart? Then it shifts over to the left even more in the late chart. So the later you get in degree, the more the placements of these aspects, planets, occurrences shift for you. Okay, so when we get to the middle degree placement, if we now look for 20 degrees, that's likely going to be in the 10th house, but it gets closer to that line that's between the 9th and 10th, which means that 9th house is a very strong possibility for a manifestation once you get there. Now, the same thing for you late degree placements. Gosh, it got a little messy over here. So you late degree placements may actually have it in your 9th house. This eclipse for you, if you're later in the sign, may not even be in the 10th house at all. But for many of you, most of you, if not all of you, it's going to be close enough that you could get a whisper of that 10th house manifestation, even if it's in the 9th house, okay? So, quick review about what you're about to see now. I'm going to drop in a tutorial for the 10th house of how I've seen these eclipses manifest in that area of life. This is going to be true for all Libra placements. I'm going to drop in a 4th house tutorial. This is going to be true for all Libra placements and all zodiac placements. And then I'm going to drop in a 9th house tutorial of how I've seen that manifest. And that's going to be true for you middle and late degree placements. So basically, October born or 10 to 29 degrees, okay? Eclipses tend to bring in new opportunities and or dramatic endings and closures or things coming to fruition. The things that tend to be highlighted at a 10th house eclipse time or Capricorn eclipse time are the work sector. So job, boss, co-workers as it relates to your work experience. Your career. So ending a job is very, very common at eclipse time, either through getting fired, having a package, a compensation package, or voluntary leaving of the job. Sometimes new opportunities for work come in that you can do on the side of your other work. So a new job opportunity that allows you to keep your current one, so it just kind of adds to. And sometimes it's a lateral movement. Sometimes there's a move for work. So there's a work opportunity, but it requires a move. And sometimes there's a necessity to move, which can necessitate the change for work because of the move. So it can work either way. A lot of times when there's an eclipse in the 10th house, or an eclipse cycle is working in the 10th house or in Capricorn, father or father figures come into the forefront in a bigger way. Sometimes dad has something going on. There could be illness, there could be pressure, there could be something they're experiencing. Sometimes it could just be that the father or father figure is helping you, or that your relationship to father, either through forgiveness or through other, collaboration, could be coming into the forefront. So projects with dad, relationship with dad is often going to come into the forefront. Authority figures, which again usually has a basis in what your relationship was like with your father as a child, or your father figure, or lack of father figure, but clashes with authority, including like legal or police matters, sometimes come for people, or bosses, or you being your own authority, finding your inner authority, or, kind of like being an authority to somebody else, management positions, or stepping into those type of roles. For those who don't work or have a career or need to make money, the energy of the place out in the world can often come up at eclipse time with a 10th house or Capricorn eclipse, where there's a finding of a dharmic path, like this is what I'm supposed to do, which may or may not be related to money. But stepping out into the world, taking one's role in the world, doing what someone came here to do. Sometimes there's movement along those fronts, either through accomplishment, like you accomplish a goal of what you set out to do, or through greater discovery about what it is exactly that you're supposed to do. One of the resources that I really love for this is a book called Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller. She's my favorite astrologer, and this book has had the most influence on me. So that her book can help you through a certain placement in your chart to better understand the pitfalls that keep you away from doing what you're supposed to do, and what your highest expression is and how to get there. So I highly recommend that for everybody, especially when this cycle is occurring. The energy of discipline and responsibility. So some people have too much discipline and too much responsibility, in which cases these eclipses could cut out something that you were responsible for. It could be, maybe a child is graduating from college, or, something is happening where there's an ending to what you were responsible for. Maybe you had a goal and you were disciplined to get there, and you reached the goal, and now you can lighten up a bit. And for others, it will bring up the question of possibly needing more discipline. So something could occur from the outside, or an impetus can occur from the inside to get a strategy together, to be more responsible, to be more accountable, to take more ownership, and, get back more feeling like you're in the driver's seat of your life through your work and discipline and your strategy or bigger plan. So strategies can end, shift, be new, come into fruition. Lots of movement in all of these areas at this time. Okay, so eclipses tend to bring changes in trajectory, new opportunities coming to fruition of things in process, surprises, drama, bright openings, notable things in the forefront of home and family, and some other headers. So we're going to look at some common ways that I have seen the fourth house or Cancer eclipses manifest. Home and housing. So many people will move during an eclipse cycle where there's a fourth house or Cancer eclipse, moving to a new place. Some people, this will include like a bilocation or a multiple location. Like if you have a house already, you can set up a second residence or a different residence in addition to the one you already have. For some people, it manifests as just a complete clean different move. Sometimes it's a temporary move or a temporary change in housing. This energy very much can rule sales, or sales or purchases of homes, getting a home ready for sale, purchasing a new home. Even though eclipse time very often brings these into the forefront, definitely always pay attention to the other information I give for the horoscopes at that time to understand how other transits that can be occurring at the same time as the eclipse season can interfere or enable contractual arrangements and big steps. Very often, a fourth house eclipse will have to do with the changing of occupancy within your home. So let's say you're there and you stay there and the house is the same, but someone moves out or someone moves in. Or you start using your home for home-based business. The starting of a home-based business is very common. Bringing on, an Airbnb or any other home-based business where you're working online. Making repairs or making additions or changes to the home. And again, with these kind of things, definitely pay attention to the other aspects of the time because, minor repairs can be fine at any time, but if you're going to do major additions, there are other astrological factors that I always speak to in the horoscopes that can be relevant. But I do see these eclipses tend to bring movement along these fronts with things like this. Changes in or notable things going on in family, and that's your family that you live with or your family that you came from. Drama, solutions, healings, people getting married, so there's new entrances to the family, people having separations, children, new children coming into the family. I see a focus on ancestry and genealogy come up very often in this. You might find out you have a relative that is notable. You might connect with someone in your genealogy. You may become really interested in tracking your ancestry or genealogy. Or someone may contact you. Childhood psychology is another thing I see come up. There are rhythms at play in our lives. And if you, and things tend to be cyclical. So the things that you're experiencing now, a lot of the ways that you feel right now, you felt as a child, and that had to do with childhood imprinting and many other factors. But the relationship between what you're experiencing now and what happened as a child, and possibly even prior to, if you believe in past lives or if you believe in genetic memory manifesting as our experience. So, attention to what's happening now as it relates to the past, and doing inner work to help stop the cycles for yourself and your family. So that I see that often come up with the fourth house eclipses or Cancer eclipses. So in general, with the fourth house or Cancer eclipse, be prepared to focus on your inner world, or the things closest to you, like home level, family level, history, and your emotional or inner space. Eclipse time tends to be an emotional time, since the eclipses are talking about eclipses involving the moon. And the moon rules the inner world, the realm of emotion. So emotions, for better and worse, are a general theme for eclipse time. We tend to have dramatic occurrences and sometimes just breathtaking, awesome, brilliant new opportunities. So basically things being eclipsed out, things being eclipsed in, and it's just a pretty wild time of major trajectory changes, things coming to fruition, things ending, and things beginning. When there are eclipses in the ninth house or Sagittarius, teaching is a major topic. So you as a teacher, people in the teaching field will see a lot of changes in how they're doing their work. The topic of learning and teaching are pretty much related, and they're both Sagittarius things. So getting educated, learning, your learning journey, educational resources, programs, schooling of any kind can come to an end or come to a fruition. You could be graduating with the eclipse energy, or you could be starting a new chapter, or you could be moving along a continuum of learning or teaching. Some people who are not yet teachers but who are born to be will step out into the teaching realm when it's eclipse time. So anything having to do with writing and publishing and speaking, and again, this is related to teaching. People who are writing, a lot of people who write and are publishing have something important to say. They have a message. Speakers, bringing information out to people, expanding people's horizons. So new projects, publishing launches, movement along, those fronts are very, very, very common. Could be the completion of a book, could be the launch of a book, could be a new speaking opportunity, things like that. Chances to go into the international realms, whether it's via the internet through international business and expanding your work out into an international venue, or actually physically traveling, or interacting with people through your work that are in different countries. I always call this energy of Sagittarius the sage on the mountain, where if there's a little village that has their water source disappear and they go up to see the sage on the mountain, and the sage says, well, I can see that 3 miles up there's a beaver dam. You just clear the dam and you'll have your water back. It's this idea of solutions. It's this idea of solving problems with a different mindset than was created. Einstein said, you can't solve problems with the same mindset that they were created. You have to break out and look at it from a different point of view. And when there's a Sag or ninth house eclipse, sometimes that new viewpoint or that new solution or new optimism will come in. Your actual belief systems and ways of looking at the world can change drastically with an eclipse in the ninth house or Sagittarius. So a way that you saw something could change. A separation from a certain religion or spiritual path can occur. For some people, a dark night of the soul, where they're in that process of not really being sure of their footing in that space. And sometimes a new philosophy or a re-energizing of a previous philosophy, getting on your spiritual path in a bigger way, either from going back to an old method or a new way of seeing things, is very common. So things having to do with belief systems can come to a head or can come into the forefront, and so can work with a church or general spiritual work come in as a big focus. Some people might just see changes within their church or their spiritual ways. So like, a new pastor or a new, spiritual leader, or new resources along those fronts. This energy of Sagittarius also has to do with adventure. So the Sag or ninth house eclipse can bring you on an adventure. A lot of times this does involve traveling, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it could be a new tool or, even a book series or a project that is a major, major adventure, doing something that stretches you out of the norm and often out of your comfort zone. I've seen many people have a change with the eclipse in the ninth house of Sagittarius with the taking in or the putting out of information. Okay, so this is along the lines of this teaching and learning, but something like taking the knowledge that you have and doing something with it. A book is one of those ways, publishing, things like that. Sometimes it could be a blog or some other resource where you take this big accumulation of your knowledge and you actually start doing something with it. And for others who have been focusing on those realms, they can start to focus on more mundane or more practical uses of teaching. So this can go anything from like, here I have all this information, here is how you use this information in a practical way, or going and stretching out into more and more information. So it rules information small, like micro information and macro information. So moving along those fronts, sharing information in those ways. And for many people who are learners, you keep taking in information, but you get bottlenecked because you have no outlet. So this eclipse, for many people, will open you up to an outlet to start draining out of your field all of that information that you've taken in and putting it into something usable or even something lofty and more philosophical. But in any case, a conduit to get it out so that you can have your creative flow back, because you get all of this information out of your space and into where it can be used. Different cultures and immersing in different cultures and different languages. So learning different languages can also be part of this ninth house and Sagittarius specific, or having someone from a different country come to stay with you, or having a relationship with someone from a different country where different cultures and languages come in to your experience in a pronounced way. I hope you feel very prepared now for eclipse season and understanding what kinds of changes may be ahead for you. Definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, to check out all of my astrology blogs and all of my other goodies there, including when you sign up for my free email newsletter, you will get a month early a written general transit report, including all of the notable aspects, the dates of the aspects, and what you can expect from each. And you'll also get my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine for free when you sign up for my free email newsletter, besides other goodies there. If you want written horoscopes by me, go to cozybysweetstarlight.com, and all of the links that I give you are also in the notes underneath. If you just click more underneath the video, you'll see all the websites there. So at cozybysweetstarlight.com, I have lifestyle blogs for healthy living, and I also have written horoscopes, again, up 1 month early. So you can check out what else is going on for your sign 1 month early. If you'd like to learn astrology and you resonate with how I teach, then definitely check out my astrology apprenticeship program, also at anniehelpsyou.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I hope you have a wonderful eclipse season. Definitely check out my horoscopes, my individual horoscopes for each sign for you on my YouTube channel, Annie Botticelli YouTube. You can check out my monthly reports. I always have them up a month early. And definitely also check out the November report, because I do talk about the December eclipse and its manifestations in there. And those eclipse manifestations can echo out, January, February, even March beyond. So to have a good understanding about where the first eclipse hit, you can check out my November report where I go into lots of details about that for you. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.